Welcome to a Top Table gaming video. I'm Steve.
I'm Sam.
And today is another unboxing video for one of the Battlehost boxes that have just been released from Games Workshop. Sam, what are we on today?
We're on the Isengard Battlehost.
My favourite.
Force of 10,000 Uruk-hai.
Yeah, my favourite.
Progressively, you don't get 10,000 Uruk-hai in this box. that would be insane.
So how many minis are we talking in this one? Because we had a chat, we looked at the Warhammer one last time.
Yeah, which is 32. This one is 48.
Right.
Purely, I think, down to how many miniatures come on the sprue.
Yes.
But it is a hefty chunk of Uruk-hai.
It is. And it's a lot of cool minis in a small box.
It is. And some relatively newer minis.
Yes.
Because the scouts are a newer sprue.
Yes.
I forget when exactly they were released, but they are probably one of the newer ones in all of these boxes.
Yeah.
Also we've got Saruman, some fighting Uruk-hai, and Grima.
Yeah. So with that in mind, I think what we'll do is we'll dig the sprues out of the box. We'll have a look exactly what's in here. Yeah. Obviously, you get your bases, and then we'll go through some facts and figures and stats and things like that. So, the Saruman sprue.
I've not actually looked at the Saruman sprue because I don't play Isengard, so I've never seen it before.
It's packed.
Yeah.
It's packed full of stuff.
Straight away.
There is zero spare space on that sprue.
Well done to whoever cut. Why is the top of the... Is that the top of the staff?
It is a nightmare to put together, but it's super cool. The way Grima goes together, his face kind of goes through his hair like a weird kind of mask. But when it's together,
you can't tell.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's really nice. Really nice.
Having built, I think, every other plastic one they've done, I'd have faith that this would go together in a similar fashion.
Yeah. In all the, I think I said it in the last video. I was saying, AIM's up there. I do really like it, but I think that's the thing with. Especially any Games Workshop miniatures, you think, oh, that's my favourite, and you pick something up.
And you go, wow, this one's incredible.
Yeah, but that, when I put it together, and I'm about 70% of the way through painting them. They're playable, I've played them in games, but I've not finished them. There's about 2 layers of highlights I need to do. Yeah. Which one of those things where you put it on your shelf and then it's on your shelf. Yeah. But I thoroughly enjoyed every second of playing it. The detail on it is out of this world.
It looks phenomenal, like the detailing on the road.
Yeah. So you get Saruman on foot.
Yep.
You get Saruman mounted.
You do.
You get Grima on foot.
Yep.
And you get a Palantir, which is a really nice touch.
Yes.
For anyone who likes to make objective markers or anything like that, or even have it on the base as a bit of a diorama.
Yeah, and also the Saruman on foot has his hand out over the Palantir, which is also a nice touch.
His creepy fingers.
Fingers.
But that is an awesome sprue. So as well as that awesome Saruman and Grima sprue, we get 2 sprues?
2 sprues of scouts.
So 2 sprues of Uruk scouts.
Which is 24 scouts.
24 scouts, which again you mentioned are they came out later than the other stuff.
Yeah, I think it was around the War of the Ring.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's about War of the Ring. But they're really nice. And one thing that I will say, and I may be wrong, it may just be me, a bit of wishful thinking, but I was talking to Sam before we started filming. I've fairly recently, in the last 8 months, painted some plastic Uruk scouts that I had lying around for ages. I've got quite a substantial Isengard army that I started to build pre-COVID through the slow grow, which was here at Element. So I've painted some recently, and I'm fairly sure that these newer sprues, they seem crisper. Yeah. They're the same sculpt. Don't get me wrong. They're the exact same sculpt. They come from, the same. They've come from the same molds probably, but whether they've done something or it's a different kind of plastic which grabs the detail better, I'm not too sure.
They definitely have changed the plastic mix over the years.
They do look crisper,
and there's less mold lines on these.
Yes, there is.
Whether that's again because it's a newer sprue, whether they've updated the molds or replenished them, but there are barely any mold lines.
No,
you could clip these off and paint them without too much hassle.
Yeah, and the scouts are really nice, really nice. I mean, the metal scouts, some of the best in the range.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the plastics, as far as plastics go, are really nice. A lot of detail.
I think these could be some of the best plastics in the range.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree.
For that Lord of the Rings era, they're so characterful, and every one you recognise from the movie.
Yes, every pose.
Every pose, you go, I remember seeing the Uruk-hai like that.
And they're all different, right? So you've got is it 12 individual poses?
12 individual poses.
So you've got a lot of individuality on your poses, which I'm one of them guys. I like to have everything different. So it's super cool. Yeah, super cool.
And you get 8 with shield, 8 just with a sword, and 8 with bow.
Yeah.
Obviously, you could find some spare Uruk-hai shields and give your just short sword ones, or you could give them bows.
Yeah.
Lots of options with the scouts.
Yeah, they're really cool.
And you could even paint them up as model Uruk-hai if you really want.
Yes, you could. I think I've actually got some of those myself. And then also we get 2 sprues of armoured Uruk-hai. Fighting Uruk-hai, as they're called. Yeah. Which are famous from the Battle of Helm's Deep.
Yes.
Pikes.
Yeah.
Super cool in game.
Yes,
Super
and they look super cool. When I was a young lad back in 2004, I would line up all the pikes who are like that, and I'd have all the pikes in front.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that looks so cool.
It does look awesome.
It's all broken. So.
Yeah, they do break very easy. You have to be careful with them.
Yeah.
But also dead easy to, when they die, pick them up.
Pick them up. Yeah. Just don't lean down to check line of sight too quickly because you'll lose an eye.
But they're cool. They hold up. And I think the thing, especially about the fighting Uruk-hai, but even the scouts to an extent, but the fighting Uruk-hai with a higher defence, probably one of the most beginner-friendly units, stroke armies in the game.
I did. So when I was checking the PDF that they put out for this, it does say that the Uruk-hai is strength 3.
Ah.
So I don't know if that's an error, whether that's a balance, going up, because they would be the only strength 4 battle host, and they're the only fight 4 battle host.
Mm-hmm.
So whether they've done that to balance them out a little bit, because I think fight 4, strength 4 would be really oppressive. Yeah. Especially as everything else is probably defense 5. Yeah. But yeah,
they may have done that just for the beginners. You might be right.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it is a very strong and forgiving army.
Yeah. Because I saw they'd taken spells off the Witch King Saruman as well.
Yeah. It's probably correct then.
Yeah.
Probably correct. So as a beginner, basically what we're saying is your strength characteristic in your profile is how hard you hit something, and obviously the higher that number, the harder you hit it, and the easier it is for you to do damage or kill said opponent. So it normally is strength 4, but in the PDF that they've released it says strength 3, which isn't correct if you're playing in a tournament or anything like that, or once you know the rules, then you'll be playing it to strength 4. But like Sam said, it's probably to balance it out for these battle hosts and the rules they've released solely for the battle hosts. Yeah. So it makes sense, but I'm sure that will be clarified at some point soon.
It's worth noting that this one is also clocks in at 433 points, which is more than the Rohan one we've unboxed. Yeah. And you'll have to wait and see if it's more than the Ministerial and Mordor. Yeah. I suspect those ones will be fairly high points because Gandalf and the Witch King can both clock in at 250 odd points. Yeah.
Well, this is the Rohan one is probably the least taxing in sense of how long it's going to take to learn how to play it. Don't get me wrong, cavalry is difficult and quite hard to master, but because you've got Saruman in here, he's got magic and he can do things that most other characters in the game cannot do. And then you've also got Grima as well, which affects your opponent's heroes, which is something that people will forget. But this is just something that as you play, you'll pick up and you'll start remembering these things.
Yeah, Grima is gross. For any new players, Grima is gross. Yeah.
He basically makes it harder for your opponent's heroes to do cool stuff.
He just sits there whispering in the room.
Yeah. It's very, very cool. But this box set as a whole is my favourite of the 4 that we've seen. Yep. Simply because I love the Isengard aesthetic. I absolutely adore the Saruman new plastic model. And weirdly enough, how long have I been playing this game? Long time. I only started to play Isengard 12 months ago. First game with Isengard. In fact, it wasn't 12 months ago, I'm lying. It was at the Not Tolcon that I did. Okay. Yeah. And I was the ringer arm and I used it. Right. And just had an absolute barrel of laughs with it. It was great. Just Saruman just being able to do what Saruman does, and your Uruk's just being able to smash things is awesome.
It's one I've always wanted to do but never did do when I got back into the game early 2010s, because my main opponent at the time was Isengard. Right. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do Isengard because it's the same force. It's probably one I would like to do down the line. Yeah. Because the minis just look so cool. It's so iconic, that scene of all the pikes marching towards Helm's Deep. Yeah. And Helm's Deep is, a great battle scene.
Isengard's a skill. Like Uruks are cool. But I had a similar thing with Rohan, funny enough. So when I first started playing, I'd collected all Rohan. And everyone knew me for playing Gondor, which I also love, by the way. But I wanted to play Rohan, but James played Rohan. He was like Mr. Rohan for so long. Yeah. So my Rohan I just got put on the shelf, and it only came out fairly recently. But similar thing. It's weird how things tie up. But generally, new player, fantastic box.
Yeah.
Fantastic, great value.
Fantastic value.
I'm not sure how it stands with us talking about leaked prices, but I'm not going to say it on the video. But by the time this video, but you're watching this, the prices will be out there.
Yeah.
We kind of know how much they're going to be, and it's great value for someone to come in, pick up a box,
Yeah.
and be able to go straight off the bat.
And again, I think, you know, if you picked up 2 of these boxes, you could probably pass on the Saruman to the extra Saruman to someone who wanted a Saruman for the White Council, or you know, who didn't have one.
Yeah.
And you'd have 40 Uruk-hai warriors, which is a ridiculous amount, and you'd have 48 scouts. And at that point, you buy Lurtz and Uglog, or you buy, you know, the commander pack, and you can do either of the scout lists.
Yeah.
You can do the Assault on Helm's Deep,
Yeah.
the horrible one with the bombs and the siege engines. Probably shouldn't tell people to do that. It's horrible. Or you can just take pure fighting Uruk-hai.
Yes.
And just have a wall of, you know, all these pipe blocks that are still really good, backed up by a wizard who's arguably one of the best magic users in the game, probably behind the Witch King.
Yeah, he's immense.
You know, his range of spells is phenomenal. You know, he's
3 rerolls.
3 rerolls.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Fireball.
Yeah.
So he's got that ranged offense. Get yourself some crossbows.
Yep.
Berserkers, ferals. The Isengard range has so many.
So many options, so many different ways to build the army, so many different legendaries. And even with what you get here, Sam mentioned get yourself Malher for some legendary legions. Now, if you were struggling to get them or budget is an issue, I would find nothing wrong. Basically, Malher is a Uruk scout with 2 swords. This guy, which you probably can't see, but this guy,
top middle,
would be perfect. Just put another sword in his other hand.
Yep.
And that's Malher.
Yep.
For me.
Absolutely.
And you wouldn't have a problem with that. You can convert any of these into captains.
I mean, even the guy next to him kind of looks like Lurtz, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So at a push, you paint that guy as Lurtz.
Yeah. There's ways to do it. A tiny little bit of effort, or I said this in the Rohan unboxing. You know, as much effort as you want. You could go crazy with it, but the smallest little bit of effort, you could paint them all in brown leather and your captain with black leather on him, or you know, you could put the Hand of Isengard markings on him as Lurtz, and away you go. There's just so many options you can do. You are not limited to using what's in the box as they are. Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
The same goes for the fighting Uruk-hai. You know, I'm pretty sure when I got the 2 Towers box set, one of these was thickly painted in gold, and he was my captain.
Yeah.
Most people don't have an issue as long as it's clear and there's no confusion. You know, if you get, you know, this bowman and you put him on a rock and you go, this is Lurtz, he's got the white hand. You know, great, I know who that is.
Yeah. As long as you make like Sam said, as long as you make the effort to make sure he stands out from the others, and there's something about him that your opponent isn't going to get confused and not realise that he is who he's supposed to be, and charge him with something unknowingly.
Charge him with a Merry.
Yeah.
And actually it's Lurtz.
Yeah. Well, then you'll be fine. And you find in this community anyway, most people are pretty cool. Yeah. It's a great community. So, so that's your Isengard Battlehost. Anything more to add, Sam?
No, I don't think so.
It's pretty self-explanatory, that one.
Yeah, and it's easy to paint as well.
Yep.
Again, as with the Rohan box, they've got the paints, which you can't see because they're there. So if you're a new player and you're struggling on what paints, look at the back of the box.
Yeah.
They are pretty accurate.
Yeah. I think with both of them, dry brushing is your friend if you want to get it on the table quick.
Yeah. Silver. What's the silver note these days? Lead belcher.
Lead belcher.
And then what does it say here? Catechin flesh.
Yes.
Non-oil, bam, done. Yeah. Bit of dry brush.
Yeah. And even on the scouts, just a dark brown with a light brown dry brush.
Yeah.
And then a wash, and away you go. So that's it for Isengard Battlehost. I really like it. It's my favourite.
Yeah.
It's got cool heroes, and there's 2 of them on the sprue. And you get a lot of warriors.
Yeah.
And the sculpts are really cool. So if you're getting that, do let us know in the comments below. Also remember, you can pick them up at a discounted rate from Element Games and 7 City Collectables using our affiliate code down below. You will save money on your purchase, and it also helps us out a lot without any cost.
Yes,
so you just click the link and shop as you would normally. Right, that's it from us. On to the next one.
See you in the next one.
Yeah.